as a content creator, have you ever found yourself stuck in what I like to call the niche dilemma? Now, I know that I have, and due to some of the comments you guys have already left us, thank you for those. We know that you have too. Today on Creators Unstuck, we're going to get into it.
You got a niche down to blow up. That's what they say. Anyway, we are Creators Unstuck. This show is designed specifically for you. You are a creator. We're looking for diverse creators, trying to empower them, try to help them get rid of some of these roadblocks that you have in your head. We want to be almost like therapy, but we therapy in each other. Basically, we decided to do this show for ourselves to keep our brains working. And we're like, you know what? We should just invite other people to see how we process the craziness that goes on inside of our heads. There is a clown riding a tricycle around in circles in there right now. You want to play a game? So we like to get into this through honest conversations. Yeah, some things are tough, but sometimes the truth hurts. But you know what? We're going to not only give you the truth and it hurts, and we're going to give you the bacitration if you're old enough to remember that, or Bactine if you're older than that. Put a little mercurochrome on it and get back to work. So welcome to Creators Unstuck. Oh, what is the question for today, Lou?
Ooh, question for today. Okay. I want to know what some topics are that you guys in our community could go all in on, whether that's what your content is about or not. Like, what is the things that you are obsessed with that like we could talk about nonstop? Because that's a good basis for finding your thing to talk about.
Music nonstop. Sorry.
There's like a whole podcast of just Doc singing songs. We're just going to yell out. We're just going to pull out of a bucket word, and then you just go.
I'm going to try to go with it. That would be super funny. I like this question because when I was at a conference recently and we were talking with some creators and like, I'm really down. I want to do this podcast thing. I have so many topics that I could talk about, but I don't know which one I want to pick. So they were kind of stuck with, I have a bunch of things that I like. And I was like, I fully understand that, but honestly, you got to pick one. Now, that becomes part of the conversation around niches, because for as long as I've been at this YouTube coaching game, one of the first things we always tell people to do is you got to pick a niche. And then there's people that say, no, I don't want to. And you can do a Swiss Army knife channel. I don't have my Swiss Army knife here. You could do a Swiss Army knife channel and be about all myriad things, but you kind of sort of want to be known for one. And I get it. And I have some arguments to go through. I don't want to give them all away just yet. We're going to dive into them more, but I just want to say, me personally, and I don't know if you differ, I think it's very important that you do settle in on a niche. And I have a reason for that, but we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah, my personal feelings around niche is that it is important, but I think where the disconnect happens, I know is for me, is that like, I was the same in college. If I pick a major, this is my entire identity. If I pick a niche, it's in my entire identity. This is a project. Your YouTube channel, your creator life, this is a singular thing. You are still multifaceted.
One.
Mr. Camera Junkie has a thing that he does on his channel. It's very clear, but he's also a dad. He's also out there living other lives. I'm pretty sure he's got like a car thing going too. Like he's got other hobbies, but this thing is specific. So it's like, you can do anything, whatever. It's the internet. You can do whatever you want. But if you want to grow, if your idea is to grow or to focus or to actually get something accomplished, picking a lane is very, very useful.
Okay, so I'm going to quote the GOAT. we need a little symbol. When you quote the GOAT, I'm going to quote the GOAT. Someone said, I'm going to reenact this interview. So, Seth, for you to be as prolific as you are, how come when Twitter came out, you never really got big on Twitter? I don't have yellow glasses. So when Twitter came out, I had to make a choice. I could get really, really good on Twitter and gain thousands and thousands and thousands, millions of followers, or I can continue to be one of the best prolific bloggers in the world. If I became awesome at Twitter, I would become mediocre at blogging. and scene. Remind me to buy some yellow glasses so I can switch into self. I'm gonna be black self.
You need the magnet ones that just like pop
yeah,
up.
just like pop them on real quick. I'll put a little overlay in the video. So and I when I saw that many moons ago, I think I'd learned to take that to heart, because this is my complaint about LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram for people trying to grow their video lifestyle. Because on Facebook, you go there for myriad things. Stalk an ex, see who got a new cat, argue with your friends about politics, try to explain to everybody why the Raiders are the most dominant team in the NFL, explain to people why the Celtics are better than the Phoenix Suns. You heard that, my man? You know, and you run across a video and you go, oh, that's interesting. Let me take a look. It's drive-by. Like, and then you're off back to your normal daily, Facebook trolling. Man, what's Stacy up to? I don't even like her. I remember she was she married somebody ugly. Oh, he fine. Damn. That's what happens on Facebook. But on YouTube, you go to watch a video. You only go to watch a video. You don't go to do nothing else. That's why YouTube is the biggest, because they focus on the one dang thing. Somebody just goaded me. Got it. Did you have that sound, Mary Lou?
I heard it.
Okay, somebody did that from our beyond. I'm gonna think it was Paul. The live studio audience is coming through with goat sounds. Oh, so big ups on that. Big ups on that. Yeah, so yeah, I just wonder, what do you think about that? Because in a way, I fully get what you're saying, but do you understand why I think it's important to pick one?
Yes. And that's where I don't disagree. Like, I completely agree. If you want to grow, when I say to people, when they like don't want to pick, then it's like, do what you want. It's just, it's not going to grow. Right. Like, if you've got, 5 different pots, you're trying to make everything grow, maybe they'll all grow very slowly. Maybe. But if you focused on one, and just like let the other ones be hobbies, like if they grow slow, but there's one that you focus on, then that's going to grow the fastest and the strongest. And then maybe you add other things in. So I completely agree that people should pick a lane. But I try, I'm definitely in the mode of like, if people say they're stupid, then I'm like, you're right.
Are you ready for Taylor Swift, the hip hop album?
Yes, always.
No, it's not going to work. Yo, first of all, she would get lambasted. But
no, and that's like, but they're at a different level, right? Like Beyonce brought out some country music. That's a different level. Like, we are, as creators, picking a focus not only will help you get things accomplished, but they will help you be known for something. And that's just the more valuable thing.
Well, yeah, and you're right. In their position, it's still singing, it's still music, it's still creating. So that's still technically in the same lane. I think the thing that cracks me up so much about the Beyonce country album thing is the amount of people that were mad for her. And I'm like, ladies and gentlemen, where was Bae born?
Hello, Houston.
Okay,
Houston, Texas,
like,
baby.
how are you going to tell the Houston girl that she doesn't have a country influence? Like, I was only stationed there for like a year and a half, and I came out, I knew some country songs, right? I definitely know all about Elvira for sure. But still,
yeah, and that's like, it's informed, right? So like that kind of stuff is informed. There's like much bigger things than that. But when we're talking about the creator, and I also am I also very much feel strongly that not everybody who takes a fitness class wants to be a bodybuilder. So not everybody who wants to make videos wants to be a business. And if that's the case, you just want to make videos because you like making videos, then like you can do whatever.
I will say this. If you are a person who wants to make videos because you just want to make videos, number one, absolutely love you for that, because I think you're bringing some entertainment or some sort of disconnect from the craziness. When you bring something to the table that lets people disconnect from the craziness, you are adding to the world. So you're positive. You're on my book. Right. But announce that. Say, hey, I'm doing this for fun. So that way you don't occupy the space of people that are trying to learn the business side of it, and then you kind of be in the way. right? So it's cool. Like nobody's gonna be mad at you. And there's people who like, I really, really, really want to make videos, but I found something that I am sort of better at, the facilitation. And I'm gonna run with that. I will make the videos as they come, but become a incredible channel manager, become an incredible moderator, become an incredible facilitator, making sure all the ducks are in a row, making sure that at 6:30, hey, you got a stream coming up in like, oh, shut up, Paul.
In moments, I'm in the elevator.
Yo, so like Paul has found in the process of making videos, even doper Paul hiding inside the other Paul, like those dolls. You take them apart and they keep getting smaller, but his got bigger because Paul is 6'5". I don't know if you know this, but that's dope. To me, that's dope. To find another lane in the middle of the lane you're running in is kind of insane, right? So now he's in the carpool lane because he's dragging a whole bunch of people with him. So instead of just picking, right, we're all in the van. Hey, yo, P, I got a wee. He goes, hold it. And I'm like, no, seriously, Paul. He's like, hold it, So Paul has not only elevated himself, but has elevated Ecamm and me and Louise and all of the other channels. What do you call that dude? The British cat, Adrian, like all of the channels that he worked with, right? So he's found an even different lane. Like Paul is about to upgrade the family van to one of them London joints. Oh, they kind of gone down in London. Sorry, my Tourette's kicking. London.
All that boils down. It boils down to finding a purpose.
Yes,
because what gets people get caught up in is I'm passionate about so many things. I'm a multi-passionate. Sure. Okay. Like nobody's taking that away from you. But for your content, pick a purpose. You pick a lane, right? It's just about picking a lane. It's not that you can't take detours, you can't take vacations, you can't do all these other things. Like when people go to work, that's their job. They do their job.
Job
right?
Number work.
So you pick a purpose. What is the purpose of this specific thing that you're doing? So like, I know on my Instagram, I tell people, I'm like, I'm not worried about trying to grow this. Like I make stuff. This is where I go to learn things. This is where I go to mess around and do things, make videos, keep my like hand on the pulse of like what is out there in content creation. But that's not my like focus. I chose a lane. My lane is YouTube and my lane is making videos, teaching people to make videos and also making videos myself because that's my passion, but then also a purpose. But I have other passions too. I have other passions too that we don't even cover on the internet. So pick a purpose. What is the purpose? Because the purpose is for them. The passion's for you.
The passion is for you. Now, my other thing about passion is that what happens with passion, and I swear every time someone says it, I lose my cookies. I'm like, no, do not listen to that person. They know not what they talk about. People say, oh, you got to do this for your passion. You got to be passionate. Man, listen, my brother knows. My brother knows. Hey, June, guess what? I just met, Blue. And then, bro, she's like, oh, yeah. I was like, yo, man, like all in. He's like, what are you doing? I'm going to see Blue. What are you doing? I was like, blah, blah, blah. Hey, June, this was Tuesday. Thursday come through. Hey, June, I need you to drop me off. Why? I'm going to go see Red. What about Blue? Yeah, whatever, man. Hey, June, what? Hey, man, so can you call Red and tell her I ain't coming through? So I'm finna go talk to Yellow. My brother was the victim of these quote unquote passions that last like a week or two or whatever, So come on, don't be like that. Like the passion thing is dumb. And I also know that people go on these, you discover something, right? Like say you just discovered bacon mac and cheese. Okay. So you go to like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different places. And then after you've been through like 8 or 9, 10 of them, you're like, if I ever see another bacon mac and cheese, I'm done. Like you go through this all the time. Every single one of us has done this. So that's why passion is BS, bro. Like really, purpose is life. Purpose is you are here to make things better. So as someone who had to like keep red occupied in the corner of the club while I talk to yellow on the other side of the club. Thank you to having a brother. That's why you guys got to have a brother. He can keep you out of trouble.
Right. So like if we're talking about purpose, then who is this purpose serving, right? If we're talking about passion is for you and purpose is for them, the next thing that you can do to help yourself pick a lane is who is this purpose for?
Yeah.
Which could be it. When I started, it was answering the questions of people who knew I knew how to make videos, like my friends. They were like, you know how to do this. Can you show me this? Can you teach me that? And then I was like, okay, well, let me just make some videos because I can't be asked this question again. I'm just going to send them a link to a video. And then I found out that there was like a bunch of people who needed these answers as well. So now I have a purpose and I have a person that this is for.
The very first thing we did when it came to Creators Unstuck was decide who our audience was. The very first thing we did, right? We want to empower a diverse group of creators to remove some roadblocks, both real and perceived. We want to make sure that we're helping them transform creativity. We want to make sure that, they convert all of this stuff they're learning into action. And we know that we're going to come through with some tough love and honest conversations because there's way too much noise. We wanted to shrink the signal to noise ratio. There's my audio nerds. You know what it is. We wanted to shrink the signal to noise ratio coming from the type of grow your audience for the love of money, gurus out here selling you a bunch of never mind. Selling you a bunch of stuff in order to get you into their course and into their ecosystem and all of the above. We wanted to let people come through. So we decided who the audience was out the gate. Like we started with why. Simon Sinek. But we started with why. And then we discovered the
purpose.
who, right? Right away.
Person, right?
Boom. Woman, man, camera, TV. See, you got woman, man, camera. Sorry, I'm done. I'm done. Oh my God.
But like picking this now, it makes it not about you. It's very hard, I think, to be like, but I need to do this for me. That's why it's so hard sometimes to go work out. Cause like it'd be better if you ate the salad and you went to the gym, whatever. But like, that's just for you, depending on who you are and like what's important to you, that is maybe difficult. But it does seem if there's something you're doing for someone else, then you're like providing a gift. And then it comes from a different place. Then I need this to work because I need people to look at me and I need to be famous and I need to have followers and I need this and I need that. Or I need to make this because someone out there needs this information. I need to make this because this is going to be of service to someone else. It just changes kind of the perception.
I really try not to even say my audience, right? I say our community. I try not to say my community. I mean, it's going to come out. I'm a human, right? But I try my damnedest to say our community. I don't run the LGL community. I don't run the ECAN fam. The fam runs the fam. I'm just part of it. You know what I mean? I'm leader, but I'm just part of it, right? I think it's very important. If you can get your lips to stop saying my and I, your world gets better in general, right? The only time you should say my is when you're talking about my neck, my back. Sorry, I'm sorry. If you can get my and I out your vocabulary, like on the real though, let me fix Mary Lou. You okay? You good? You good, sis?
that went too far. That went too far.
But too many people are about that life, and we have just watched the heinousness of people being selfish, and it's gotten out of control. Now, I do believe in making time for self. I do believe in finding self and taking care of self and all of that. But I think that so many people have gotten so selfish lately that it's a world I never thought I would see. And this is one of the reasons why I love to travel to Japan all the time. It is one of the most unselfish places in the world. Like, it is absolutely insane. This is going to sound crazy. And if you talk to people who've been, they'll tell you this to be true. I could take my AirPods, my bag, my camera, whatever, and I could sit it on the table and walk away, go to the counter and order my food, get my little drink, go to the bathroom, wash my hands, come back, and nobody will touch it. Nobody will touch it. It's not about they don't steal, because there's crooks. Let's not be crazy. They have crooks. It's different style of crooks. You don't do anything that will disrupt the next person. That's part of the culture, right? The idea of not throwing your trash on the ground is not because you clean. It's because you would disrupt the next person. You would make the next person's life miserable. Walking away from a table and leaving your crap in the table at food court never happened in Japan. This is just culturally has been ingrained because they start cleaning classrooms when they're little kids. If we let our kids clean the classroom, parents be like, "Oh, you're making my kid do labor." Man, shut up. Like, they learn to clean the classrooms together from kindergarten forward, right? They feed each other in the lunchroom. There's no lunch ladies giving you the side eye with that mole and the hair coming out, looking at you, be like, "You can't have extras." Like, no. The kids feed each other. They wash the dishes together. They prep together. So they learn, like, you know, they say you send your kid to play dates so they can learn how to be around others. They learn how to take care of others. They learn service for others from preschool. And that's why, like, I fell in love with the country just because of that lack of selfishness. Are there selfish people there? Absolutely. People are people. And why should it be you and I should get along? Never mind. I'm sorry.
Well, it's like, okay, so if you take any of your things when you're trying to pick what to do, right? Because, you know, the world is infinite, our imaginations are infinite. But when you start to narrow it down using these kind of constraints, it takes a little bit of the pressure off of you. Because it's not, I need to make everything. I need to make something with this purpose. And now it's like with this purpose, I could make it for everyone, or I could just make it for this person. I don't need to make everybody cupcakes. I just need to make a cupcake that Doc would like. It just helps you out, you know? So I'm curious because our show, both of us have our Doc Pops here. Doc is here. He specifically has made something that had a purpose, was for a person. Even though it has his name on it, it's not for Doc. These Doc Pops are not for Doc. They're for the community, for creators who want a little pop of color, who want a little bit
I just picked that
different.
name because it was stupid.
but that's like an anchor, right? Like, our faces are in our content. We're still in it.
Yeah.
It's still, we're characters. We are focused. We're the anchors, right? Of this stuff. But like, you're not trying to like produce 4,000 Doc Pops to have in your house.
No.
You know, that's not for you.
And also, I realized that in the world of sameness, sometimes having a thing that you can call your own, no matter how little it is, can really give you a place, give you a sense of being, right? I definitely, as a kid from the projects, like, all the houses are the same, like all the, you know, everything is the same, right? There's like 15 buildings of the same. Even individual buildings started doing stuff to the front of their buildings to try to let theirs like stand out. It's just a level of, this is me. Like, let me let my little freak flag fly for a second and not just be another person with a black puffer. So it was really, I made it for the simple reason that I want to give people a chance to like add a little spice, you know, get a little closer, add some culture for the culture. There you go. For the culture.
And it's not that it, like, when you know, don't get me wrong, when it's like you need to be selfless in it completely, because we all want to be on camera because there's a part of us that wants to be seen. And there's nothing wrong with that. But this is something that always comes up for me is that your existence is the resistance. Your existence is empowering to the people who need to see someone like you, right?
Yes.
Like having a colorful microphone, as simple as that may seem, makes a difference in the fact that people see this and they're like, when they see me, they're like, oh, this is a person with personality. This is like my colorful set. People are like, oh, maybe this is the person for me who can teach me what I want or I can connect with, or a community that I can be part of because I vibe with them. But this is all intentional. I could have had like the white room with just the green plants and, you know, the beige ladies kind of rooms. Okay, it would have looked nice too. But purposefully, and for the person that I want to connect with, I built a room that I would see and I'd be like, yeah, I see that person and I want to hang with them. I want to learn from them.
It's it's a cliche, right? The vibe attracts your tribe, but it's funny, like when you see, I've totally seen channels where I bumped up against them by accident. I found it and I was like, yo, love this person. I'm all in. There's a creator right now. She is goofy and quirky, physical therapist. Her and her husband just recently started traveling in Japan. So I was watching her channel mostly because I was like, oh, I like to see people discover what I know and like see how they react to it. And I was just like, I felt like I'm looking at somebody who's family. I just immediately got along with it right away. So I sent her a comment because I told you I comment on people's video. And then now we're like comment friends. Like we pass comments back and forth. Like she knows I'm leaving in a couple of days. And she's like, oh, we haven't gone there yet, but we want to go. Send me your list, you know? And so like we really have just developed a conversational, like it's totally parasocial, but I know for a fact that if she and her husband was coming to Hawaii, she would hit me up and be like, hey, y'all, we coming. Like, what can we do? I'm like, let me show you, you know? So you'd be amazed at the things that you think you're just doing, throwing it into the air. And then someone catches it and like how that can go, including like comments that we got from Terrence and Songs in the Key of Life. That is so not his name. But you know, the fact that, you know, somebody would take time out of their, and Alicia got that, somebody to take time out of their day to like feel you and leave you a comment means that it's working. You're doing the right thing. And the worst thing you can do is get stuck in looking at the numbers and like, oh, this is not working. A lot of people give up, like that old parable, 3 feet from gold. You know, it's an old mining story, but technically it predates mining. It comes from China, like way back in the day. But it's basically in the San Francisco version. Dude was, you know, digging his well and spent all his money and, you know, borrowed all the money from everybody. And he was just going. He got super frustrated. Wife and kids left him, whatever. And he gave up. And then some dude came in, like bought his thing for nothing, walked in, went tink, tink, boom, biggest gold vein in California. So the story is 3 feet from gold. I think the American one is made up because the Chinese parable is like 3,000 years old. But you don't want to be that person. You really don't want to be that person. You know, and man, this is kind of related, but slightly unrelated. Have you watched any of the Olympics at all?
No.
Oh my God. Just watching people who have put in 4 or 5 years of just insane amounts of work. And then they do something that nobody thought could be done. Right. Or they hit a height. Some of it, I've seen people have full, like, just like emotion fest for catching a bronze. Right. I'm watching the Korean archer team and these guys, bro, Robin Hood, man, hold my beer. Dude was like 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Ain't cool as a pool. Like it didn't mean nothing to him. But the bronze medal dude that came in from France, you thought he wanted to go. You know what I mean? So when I see people put that level of purpose into their craft, and yes, it's for them, but it's also for their country, right? It is making people who are kind of pissed off at the world right now, sitting around the TV for an hour or two a day and just fall in love with people again. You know what I'm saying? Watching Jordan Childs pump up the entire US team because she is just fire. She is absolute fire. And watching the way she cheers everybody else on, even when she's not performing. Watching the way she does that guttural scream when she nails something and the audience loves it. Like the people are chanting her name. Like to me, that's what it's about, right? But what you don't see, because our country is so bad at it, they don't talk about these people until every 4 years. And then we elevate them. The rest of the time we sort of ignore them. But you know what they don't do? They don't stop grinding. They grind like crazy, knowing that in year 4, I'm going to show these folks what's it about. They know what their purpose is. And that's crazy. Like you got Steph Curry, Michael Phelps, like Serena Williams, Shaq, Flavor Flav, Snoop, Beyonce, Celine Dion. You got all these famous celebrities sitting up there watching these guys. You got goats watching goats. Going, damn, oh, snap. And you know what they're doing? They're not there just to enjoy. They're also seeing what else can I learn from this GOAT in a completely different field that I can bring to mine. Steph was filming gymnastics to see how they deal with pressure, to see how they perform, to see how they recover from mistakes. Steph is taking freaking notes in the bleachers. No skin in the game. No daughter, no wife, none of that. Like, he's watching goats so he can bring it to his goatness. Bruh. Mind-blowing to me. Absolutely mind-blowing to me. I was watching it the last couple of days just like over the moon. This is incredible.
There's something to that, right? Where people, the Olympics come out once every handful of years. These people are training for so long. If they didn't start that journey, then we wouldn't see that greatness, right? So if Simone Biles, whenever she had to drop out before, just didn't come back, then we would not get the magic that's happening now. The magic that she and all the other athletes can put out into the world. So a lot of the times when I hear people saying they can't figure out which direction to go in, I think it's fear. I think it's a stalling tactic. And it's just like, just pick a direction.
You can change, bro.
You can change. Just pick a direction. Because you're not going to learn anything new, and you're not going to grow, and you're not going to even get any clearer on what the answer is if you do nothing.
Yes. You know what happens if you pick the wrong lane You know what happens if you pick the wrong lane and then you switch? Nothing. But what you gain is all of the experience in filming and production and creating and shipping, getting it out. You get that part under your belt. So you can make 50 videos about piano, and then all of a sudden, you know what? I'm going to play drums. And you switch to drums. But you know what you have? You have 50 videos of experience so that your drum video comes out the gate gangster.
Mm-hmm.
Bingo. Bingo.
Yeah. And that's with the next and the final one, which is choosing a project, like looking at it as a project. I want to talk about our sponsor, which is PodPack, or the PodPack, which is Marshall Fox, who is working on the graphics for our show, offers this service. Now, we know Marshall. Marshall's out in the world. We know he's a fabulous creator. We know he does graphic design that he teaches us, and also graphic design as a service. Now, this project, he picked this specific project, the PodPack, for specific people, podcasters, with the specific purpose of getting their marketing together, because that's something that people get stuck up on, right? So it doesn't even have to just be your podcast, your content, your video. Like, if you look at things as projects, you can, it's a lot easier to wrap your head around, because it's like, this isn't forever. This is a project. It's a project.
He just does that so good. He just does that so good. Oh my God. Man. And
everything relates.
Everything relates. It's almost like everything is content, everything relates. That was a mic drop moment. I just didn't let you marinate in that for a hot minute. Also,
like, did everybody know what happened?
Yes, man, it's perfect. Like they'll figure it out. They can rewind it. If you got to rewind it, because y'all just don't know. Y'all missed the master class in Lou being Lou. This is why we love her. Okay, so the other sponsor for this show, of course, is Doc Pops. I am again on a mission just to make podcasting more fun, showing up on camera more fun, let you look good. Be you. You can bring a purple, you can bring a green, you can bring whatever. I got Pops for the 3 most common mics. And, I've been on a mission now and people are like, hey, I need to get that Vanta Black. So my goal is now to sell enough of them so that I can come out with the limited edition Vanta Black. That's a black that's so black it ain't even black. Like it's kind of psycho.
I want to get that because I feel like it's going to blend into my shirt and my hair.
It would just disappear. Like Vanta Black doesn't reflect, so it looks like a hole. It's going to be crazy. Oh, anyway.
And so if you guys haven't ordered it, please, we're in pre-sale. It's in pre-sale and we need to get the numbers in order for us to all get our dog pop. So
it's kind of like a group buy. For those who buy video game type stuffs or keyboard type stuffs or special parts, it's like a group buy, right? My goal is to collect orders until the end of the month, and then I'm going to take that and send it off to manufacturing, and then they'll get cranked out and everybody will get them. So we're super excited. Can't so much thank myself for sponsoring myself and my friend.
Thank you so much for sponsoring Creators Unstuck. Doc, what's your pick of the week?
Alicia is laughing. Alicia's laughing super hard. All right, gang, listen. I have recently discovered from Nana, she's kind of like the sister-in-law. She introduced me to this bare bones bone broth. And they have multiple flavors. They have beef, chicken, lemon, ginger, Thai curry, and mushroom for those who don't, do meat. But one of the ones they had, which I thought was super dope, is called ramen. Now, in my various forms of attempting to do weird diets and stuff, I've tried all kinds of bone broth, including making my own. And they're good, but none of them really was like, I actually like drinking this. I was drinking it because I had to. And when you're doing any type of sort of diet adjustment, whether it's for medical reasons or fitness reasons or whatever, the hardest part is when you don't like it, you can't stomach it. Like, it's just like, I know I have to do this, but it's nasty. Anybody that's over 50 that had to drink the glow-in-the-dark butt juice so you can get the camera, it's like drinking antifreeze. That joint is disgusting. I'm looking at all the old people in the Zoom room. They know what's up. It's nasty. Super nasty. You lucky. You got like 5-6 more years before you got to do it.
I had to sit with my sister as she drank it though, and she had her appendicitis, and I did not envy it.
Oh my
at
God.
all.
So this is so good. It's delicious, but it cranks like 10 grams of protein. And like it has like collagen and the whole 9 yards, so your skin be nice. Your skin be nice. But no, it's really good. And I've tried like most of the flavors, but my favorite one is they got one called ramen because I love ramen. It's kind of gangster. I can make my own ramen juice, but I never use that stupid packet. That packet that be coming with that stuff is deadly, it's nasty, it ain't good for you, whatever. But this one, you can use this and then put your noodles. So even if you like ramen, I'll tell you right now, go get some actual bone broth or like a low sodium chicken stock from your favorite place and use that instead of the powder that comes with the freaking top ramen because that mess will kill you. But it's so good. Just throw your veggies in there, game recognized game, and it's cheap. And Amazon will get it to you in like a day or two. So go and check out Bare Bones bone broth.
Yeah.
Which is a weird pick for a creator tech show, but it's part of my life. So I'm sharing it with y'all, whether y'all like it or not.
Well, because looking good on camera, staying healthy, skin be nice, hair be nice. It's important. It's
the hair
okay.
on the inside is nice.
There's stuff. There's stuff.
The hair on the back is nice.
Yeah, taking care of yourself. And like I feel like also with like bone broth and like collagen, things like that helps with your brain as well. And keeping things going, helping you stay creative because you need to stay your best self so you can be your best self for the community, so we can be out there. All
right, so what you
my
got,
pick of the week, I think it's where we started weird because I was like, my pick of the week is Lumify, which is a eye drop that helps you get rid of redness in your eyes And like, there's other ones that are good, but like, I feel like I've had this since I was the beginning of being on camera, and this has just always been in my kit. There's always like a lip gloss, a mascara, a powder, and my Lumify. Always.
Damn, I gotta get a mascara.
Yeah, just like a little something. Just a little something. But this, like, it's really, really helpful. I know people who participate in alternative activities tend to really like it. I just get really dry eyes, and I am a Pisces, so I get emotions take over sometimes, and this is very helpful because when you got to work, you got to work. So I give them Lumify.
I get emotions take over sometimes. So listen, I wanted to bring this up before we get too far, right? My buddy Terrence, our buddy Terrence, actually, because we both met Terrence in real life before, he hit us up and said, what's keeping me stuck is mainly creative direction. A few things I'm passionate about, but I know what kind of content I should. I want you to focus on the should for a second. Choose to focus on. I did a podcast for almost 3 years. It was a lot to produce. So whatever I want to do next, I want to make sure I commit to something that sticks. Okay, that's another word I want you to get, that sticks. And I have all the tools. I know what I'm doing. Basically, just have to get unstuck with that creative direction. So directly to our brother Terrence, I want to cover a couple of things.
There's a lot to unpack in here.
A lot to unpack. Bruh, should? Ain't no should. Everybody should is different, right? Like, that should is really up to you. I remember the old school song, "If I Woulda, Coulda, Shoulda." That's what folks always say. You don't want to be that person. So it's better to start even completely wrong and switch it than to be a "if I woulda, coulda, shoulda" person. That's what folks always say. That's the song. Old people know what it is. Yeah, I'll let Lou chime in on that for a second.
Talk about the coulda, woulda, shoulda?
Or just,
or just like
the kind of content I should focus on. Yeah.
Right. Like should. And when I pair should with the fact that he made a podcast for almost 3 years, that was a lot to produce, one thing. And he wants to make sure he has something he can stick with. Now, what you should do, is there a way you could do it simpler so it doesn't feel like a task? Right? Because the reason it's too much to do is because maybe it is very literally too much. So how can you scale back? Like with my content, right? I was like, I know I should, right? At one point, this is how I felt. I should have multiple angles. I should have B-roll. I should have sound effects. I should do the whole rigmarole. But I don't know. It was just, I was not producing. So I sit down with my camera, with my cats, and you guys get to see me dance around the living room and see what happens. It's a different kind of content, but that's my content.
The most complicated thing about this show, and it's not even complicated now thanks to Ecamm, not sponsored, but is having the live studio audience chilling in Zoom, looking at, Gretchen, Alicia, Janet, Mark, Aubrey, Paul, Mary Lou, that's us. Just being able to see, have the live studio audience, because filming is different with them here. I get juice, right? I can see AT smile. That light up a whole joint, bro. Y'all have no idea. I need shades when she be smiling over here. But it adds a thing. Not complicated at all anymore. So to Mary Lou's point, I think everybody should really start out with what I call the little black dress of your podcast. Like, keep it mad simple, but still fine. Right? Like, the little black dress is very simple. It's a piece of black cloth. But every time you step out in the black dress, people be like, homie, what you know what I'm saying? Same with dudes, and they got their basic black suit, You don't got to get crazy. You don't got to get here Lusace Versace. You can just come out with a black suit and just be clean. You know what I'm saying? And that's why the maitre d' and the waiters and anywhere important, they're still wearing the plain black suit. It stamps authority. You know what I'm saying? It stamps authority. So people be overcomplicated because you're looking in somebody else's car and you're like, I want a Lambo. But what you know how to drive is a Tercel. It's cool to look at the Lambo. Actually, they kind of trash. Get a Ferrari. I ain't say that. Y'all come for me in the comments. But if you are on Camry budget and Camry skills, then man, make that Camry look dope. Everybody got that one
best
old
one
uncle
ever.
with the 1981 Accord, clean, not a speck of dirt. He got like the doilies on the back. You put your head on, like, hey, wash your hand before you get in my car. Everybody got that one uncle with the old whip that's clean as all get. Like everybody got that uncle. So you think about that, like you don't have to go crazy. If it's a lot to produce, you're doing too much. Literally.
Right. Now, if we go back to the should, we go back to content I should make. This has come up because I was doing a live stream and somebody commented, they're like, "Oh, aren't you the gal who would teach us about Instagram features?" And I knew I was making that content and it was doing well. So if I go by should, that's what I should continue to do, because that stuff searches well, people find it, people get information. But it melted my brain because those things were not consistent across the board. It didn't make me happy. I felt like I was selling cigarettes. That's where it's like, what is it that I like about what I'm teaching? Is I like to teach people how to make videos. I don't necessarily want to teach you how to do social media.
Yes.
Right? So what I should do, if you go by the metrics of what people search and, if like with that, cool. Like if somebody wants to do that channel, I'm telling you, you should do well if you do it well. But it wasn't what I should do because it was melting my brain. So should is really can be tricky.
I just got one of those. My boy James was like, "Oh, you should make this video about blah 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 blah," and I was like, "No, you want me to make the video because you want me to answer your question. I'll answer your question, but I'm not going to make that video for the public because I don't want to distract people with this. It's not a lane that I'm willing to open that door and let it keep like working, right? So yeah, that's very good. All right, so let's move down a little bit to the part we said, I want to make sure it's something that I will stick with. I think the stick with comes all the way back to point one. Purpose. See, passions get unstick-wittable. Blue start
yellow,
acting
right?
jealous. And then like, I have no time for jealousy. Sorry, Blue. You could be Scarlett Johansson. If you say something jealous, you ghost. I just don't do jealousy. I can't stand it. I think it's one of the most ugly portions of human existence. Like I really, really hate jealousy super, super bad. And I don't even know why, but I think at some point in time when I was a child, I seen an adult get mad at another adult for assuming that somebody else was talking to them and there might have been hands and fisticuffs, and it turned me off on that thought process because I know that the other person wasn't doing what they were getting accused of. Right? I think that's where it goes back to, but like I cannot stand jealousy in any way, shape, or form. As soon as I see it, I'm like, I don't have it. Like I would, if I caught myself doing it, I would like take away ice cream for 9 months. Like it's just not a thing. I just can't stand it. So I think what happens is the reason why you want to do something that you will stick with is because you haven't really figured out what the purpose is per se. So when you're chasing possibly what other people, I'm not going to put it on Terrence because Terrence is, smart kid. You could be chasing the hot, right? Like right now, it could be, biting things, TikToks, because the Olympians are biting medals. Or now you're doing, what's that? Reaction content. Everybody wants to do a reaction channel. Why do you want to do a reaction channel? What are you bringing to the table that's different from the other reaction channels? What is the final goal there? What is your audience going to get out of watching you react to some silly memes? Right? What are you going to educate? Right? So somebody who hits me up all the time wants to do a reaction channel for politics. And I'm like, all right, cool. But what are you going to bring to the table? How are you going to elucidate a better world or better place? Or are you just going to create more content that fans the flame between dummy 1 and dummy 2? And they're like, oh no, it's just trending. And I'm like, I ain't helping you. But you know the answer, I do. But you have to help me. No, I don't. go call my boss. Because when she asked me, I quit before I let you add some more of that BS to the internet. Oh, but don't they pay you to do? Yeah, but they also pay me to make decisions. And my decision is I am not going to teach you how to add more to the planet. If you could tell me that you're going to add something beneficial and you're going to like teach, and even if it's for the person that I completely disagree with, I'll help you because I get that I'll help you with because you slowly believe in it. But you just want to do this to fan the flames because it makes money. And I have a person I kind of thought I loved and respected that is doing that right now and completely lost all respect for the person. Because I know you don't mean this crap. I know you're just riding the hate train, as Lou calls it.
Yeah, so with the purpose, right? Going back to the purpose. And it's not necessarily purpose versus passion. Like if you look at everything that you're passionate about, because this is where people get stuck, is there's so many things they're passionate about. Pick the most purposeful of what you're passionate about. You know, it's like, I care about the planet, and like it would be very purposeful to talk about like saving the planet, about recycling or sustainability or things like that. But I'm just not passionate enough about it for that to be my lane. So passion versus purpose is not the key here. It's of your passions, what could be the most purposeful. So like when you're thinking about what you can stick with, something I always like to ask people is, what is something that you loved when you were like 7 to 14? Like something that you just loved.
I'm joking.
Glue? It was glue?
I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm
like
going
for me,
back to my
like,
other reference.
It was like I was doing the middle school announcements, and I like that was my whole personality. I was like, I'm gonna get up early. I'm gonna make sure I'm there. I'm gonna make sure I can like read my thing. I know I got the lunch menu right. I know who the athletes are, even though I didn't see the game. You know, I took it very seriously, but I was like really passionate about getting on camera and sharing this information. Now look at me now. We're doing the same thing.
Bro, it's so good. That is so good. Oh my
but like
God,
in a different way.
Yes,
so,
I love it. Oh,
you know,
my
if you're
God.
like, if you're not sure, think about that. Like, because maybe there's a hint for you there. You know, maybe the answer, but not like a hint. You got to investigate a little bit.
Oh my God, that is so good.
Like you, okay, so like you, I know you've done you've had all sorts of businesses.
Yeah,
we'll say that, right?
Serial entrepreneur.
Your whole life, and what is like that's what you do now is help people utilize technology for showcasing their businesses, whatever that might be, right? Their purpose, their content, their podcast, their whatnot. So it's the answers are there. It's just that people get overwhelmed, right? Like Doc's least favorite word. There's so many options, but like as a creative, you need to learn how to narrow things down, because if your creativity is your inner child, just know children do really well with boundaries. Like you have to be the adult to tell your creativity, your inner child, like, yeah, cool. We could play all these games, but today you're picking from these 3. So of these 3, which one do you want to play? Because we can only play one game at a time.
It's funny. Number one, I'm just completely blown away by you did the school announcements, because I should do the school announcements too.
Oh my God, here we are.
It's like, good morning, Huskies, big dog and puppies. Doesn't matter where you are, Husky Nation. Let's do this. And I do the whole announcements, and at the end, and I go, and remember, little puppies, watch out where the Huskies go. Never eat yellow snow. That was my morning joy. That was my morning joy every time. Oh now, my friends, God, I'm in love. This in the community,
are you surprised? Are you surprised that these 2 did their school announcements? And
hey,
here we are.
Say, hey, can you come up to the board? Absolutely.
Yep.
Like, I was never like, no, don't let me get up to the board. I'm like, hey, let me get up to the board. Yo, I was gonna clown. Oh my God, that's super funny. I really think that you really nailed the head though about like the whole Neeson thing. I think this is something that people sort of forget. If you want to give yourself a really, really crazy analogy, right? Let's think of the absolute most disgusting, most poisonous, most like heinous chemical in the world. It's a combination of mercury and urine and feces and botulism and dead body juice. Okay, we're going to put that all into a little vessel. Now I'm going to take a water hose, a big fire hose, and I'm going to fill up a giant backyard pool with fresh, clean drinking water. But I'm going to take one drop of the nasty juice and just, are you going to drink that water? So which is more effective, the fire hose or the dropper?
I don't think I'm following this analogy.
Because this is the problem. People be trying to fire hose all of this stuff because they're watching everybody else do it. They think that that's going to work. But what's more effective? The single drop. That's the niche. The niche is that one drop of highly communicated, highly effective, highly poignant, meet somebody where they are, makes them feel better, adds a positive light to the world, uplifting, storytelling, teaching someone else how to, feel better about themselves. That would be more effective. So one drop is more effective than the fire hose. So you use the fire hose to fill the pool, but the one drop of nasty water just jacks the entire thing. So the one drop is more powerful.
This is very confusing because it's like a negative trying to be a positive.
Well, the visual was the thing. You. The visual was the thing. Okay, my analogy. You know what? I ain't had no caffeine this morning. But Janet, we need to send a medic to Janet in the Zoom room. She's losing it over there.
I think she was with me where we're like
CPR.
Where are we going with this? Another thing that you can think of is, if you're not sure, imagine we just have a platter and we're trying to just narrow it down, right? Because we can't shove everything in our mouths at once. So we're just trying to pick what we're going to start with, right? For this round. So you've got all your passions, and then we've got the ones that have purpose, okay? And then we have the ones that this specific person would like this. I'm sharing this plate with someone else. So this is the stuff that goes on the plate. So with the person. Now, out of the stuff on this plate, can we make a project, right? Now, if we still have more, what is it that you were doing when you were younger? Something to think about. What is something that you could talk about at no end? Something, and that's where the passion is, right? Because you feel passionate about it, where you got strong opinions about it. But I also like to think of what's your unfair advantage, right? So I love to make videos. I could have been making videos about anything. I love to do makeup. I could have had a makeup channel, right? I love to make videos. I love to talk about cameras. Of these two, where do I have an unfair advantage? The one where there's a lot of people who look like me, feel like me. Great. I love them. I'll watch them. Or I can go to this other lane where I'm one of the handful that look like me and I could make a difference.
There you go.
Unfair advantage.
All right. So Terrence, to close out, I want you to take that list that Lou just dropped there and you to heart, brother. I want you to think about something you feel strongly about, something you already talk about all the time, something you were mad into when you was a kid, and something that gives you the unfair advantage. And I think, Mr. Terrence, and anybody else feeling like Hold'em over here, Texas Hold'em, if you can run that through in your project in your mind, it can help you get unstuck. You know what he did? He had it. He had to do it. That's professional right there. Man, I'm dying to know. I want people to just drop in the comments. If you could take that questionnaire and answer any one of them, I would love to see it in the comments. I would love to see it on people that are watching this after the fact, or even if you're listening to the audio version. I would love some feedback on what is that thing you feel strongly about, something you already talk about all the time, something that you were mad into as a kid, and something that's your unfair advantage. Because I know for a fact that we got those friends in our life, right? I got a buddy who's a musician. As a matter of fact, he reminds me so much of Will. It's hilarious to me, but they're very, very similar. But literally one of my best friends, which is why I know me and Will get along instantly, because he's very much like one of my best friends. Dude can tell you anything there is to tell you about music, and he could tell you anything there is to tell you about baseball, but specifically the Red Sox. If he were to do a Red Sox podcast, it would blow up. But the unfair advantage is he could do it strumming random tunes and make it even more interesting. And like when there's a tough game or something that's a little scary, break it into a little D minor. Like it just, because he's super musical, super quick, super thinky, kind of a comedian. Like if he did like a baseball show while playing the guitar, it would blow up because it's that weird, right? So yeah, I love that breakdown, Lou. It is a very, very handy little utility that someone can use to get their speak on.
Well, I hope it helps y'all get unstuck.
Boom, you like that? Look, Lionel showed up late for class into the Zoom room. Into the Zoom room. So that's it. So fam, we did it again. We recorded another episode. And yes, please let us know, like anything that you have that you're feeling, that you're thinking about, or I'm feeling verklempt. That's my favorite word from back in SNL days. Let me show you something. Like, listen, if you have these type of weird things that get into your brain and start messing with your ability to create, come by. Like, this is our creative therapy session. This is our therapy session for each other. But in the meantime, our studio audience gets to hang out. And then, people in the comments get to hang out. So drop that information on us. We're down to get in. Thank you, Terrence, for being the inspiration for today. See, that's what I mean. You got something? You could be next. You could be the next person to get unstuck. So how do they find you, Lou?
You can find me all over the internet at Mary Lou Mandel.
This is so true. She's all over the internet because nobody else has that Mary Lou Mandel. I have not seen.
And I've been on the internet. As soon as there's a new platform, I'm like immediately we'll grab it. Bingo. It's like my name. I have my name on everything that you can get a name on.
I have a doctor of geology. There's actually Tuck Rock, and then there's a Nigerian priest. I don't know how that one connects. And then there's a band. But I'm on most platforms because I'm quick with it too. Being a tech guy, I have an unfair advantage. I know these platforms are coming out before they come out, so I lock it down as soon as possible. And I'm Doc Rock on just about everything. So thank you guys for coming through. And you have now been Unstuck. Next week. We'll be back next week. And as we like to end the show, see you. Get it? That makes me laugh still. I don't know why. It's so dumb. This is the moment we waited for. Everything you want is right here. We gon' give them what they came for. We gon' take it up from last year. Shoot 'em my shot, boy, I'm long range. Me and the team on the same thing. Stay down, never switched up.